Hello and welcome. I'm Dinesh Karthik and I'm going to be with you throughout these two test match series between India and West Indies. The first one being played at Dominica. But before we get into all that, let's talk about context. We just finished the World Test Championship final. In many ways, Australia outplayed us. There was lots of talk. What does this West Indies series actually mean to us? How important it is? Are we going to roll them over and it's just going to be another series? Maybe. We all think that that would be probably the way that India would like to play this series. But for a lot of players, for the likes of Ishan Kishan, Shubman Gill, Yashasvi Jaiswal, Ajinkya Rahane, Jaydev Unadkat, Shardul Thakur, is he the all-rounder that we're looking for? Many questions are there for Team India. And for that, this series is going to be very, very important. Because here is a chance for the Indian batting to stand up and do the scores, or rather get the scores that we're all used to seeing over a period of time. But make no mistake, this pitch in Dominica is not going to be easy. It's already turning. We'll talk about that. But also, let's also understand that as players, they're trying to make a mark. A lot of these names that I've just said are trying to make a mark. And it's the start of a new World Test Championship cycle. So there's a lot at stake. West Indies won the toss and decided to bat on a dry pitch in Dominica. Just the one debutant for them, Alec Athanaze. We'll come to him later, who actually had a very good day. Tagnarayan Chanderpaul, son of Shivnarayan Chanderpaul, opened along with Craig Brathwaite, and they stitched a decent partnership, taking enough control in the first 10 overs. The fast bowlers were countered well. Siraj and Jaydev Unadkat couldn't provide the breakthrough. Siraj actually bowled well, got a few balls to nip through, but didn't get the wickets. In entered the first bowling change. Rohit Sharma threw the ball to Ravichandran Ashwin. He bowled the 11th over. In the 13th over, he got his first wicket. A beautiful delivery, very reminiscent of how he got Alistair Cook in Edgbaston. I was keeping that game. It was a lovely delivery. Drifted in just enough to take off stump, off bail in fact. And that's exactly how he got Tagnarayan Chanderpaul as well. When he calls his dad in the evening, I think he'd be like, you know what, that was a great ball. But Chanderpaul's ball was probably the best ball of the day without a doubt. The rest of the batting capitulated. From being 31 for 1, which is a decent start in a test match, they became 75 for 5. And we keep speaking why West Indies is struggling. Exactly that. They haven't been having the technique or the skill to forge together good partnerships. Here again, another example. Players getting out to meek shots. Brathwaite being the captain, looking to loft one, getting caught at covers. Blackwood just chipping it to mid-off. A brilliant catch by Siraj. I thought India fielded beautifully today. Some lovely catches taken by them. Ishan Kishan was lovely behind the stumps. A great catch to get Joshua De Silva. A pretty big nick. His first catch in Test cricket. Raymond Reefer of Shardul Thakur. Again, a very, very good catch. Low to the ground. R. Ashwin and Ravindra Jadeja. They picked up 8 of the 10 wickets that fell today. And they were brilliant to watch. As we said, just the one partnership of 41 between Alec Athanaze and Jason Holder. And just when things felt they were going good, 117 for 5 after being 76 for 5, I think Rohit Sharma did something brilliant. Used the short ball tactic, brought Mohammad Siraj on, made him bowl those pouncers. And then Jason Holder looking to hook one but couldn't get control of it. Got Jason Holder, and after that they steamrolled the opponent. And who were the two wreckers in chief? As expected, Ravindra Jadeja and R. Ashwin. And let's speak about R. Ashwin a bit here. His 33rd 5-wicket haul in the history of Test cricket among all bowlers who have played. He stands at the 6th right now in terms of the number of 5-wicket hauls taken ever by a bowler. And the other 5, let me just name them: Muralidharan, Shane Warne, Richard Hadley, Anil Kumble, and Rangana Herath. He is 6th on the list. I think we should take a moment just to soak that in. 6th on the list in the history of bowlers who have ever bowled in Test cricket. That's how good he has been over a period of time. Bowled brilliantly today. Outthought a few batsmen, but also outskilled a few batsmen as well. It's one thing to outthink somebody, so you're setting up a plan tactically to make the batsman, or rather create a mistake from the batsman, and outskilled as well at times. And that would definitely be the Chanderpaul delivery. As a left-hander, that's a dream ball. The one that drifts in and takes the off bail. We've seen him do that quite a few times before. And again, he's shown us why he is such a world-class spinner. Over a period of time, across nations, Across the board, he's been very strong with his performances, and hats off to Ashwin. Very well supported by Jadeja. Two openers, the debutant Yashasvi Jaiswal batting on 40, Rohit Sharma batting on 30. He's batting really well as well. 80 for no loss is what India has got. We haven't seen such an opening partnership for some period of time, but it was great to see the debutant come in and take on the fast bowlers, but also when spinners came, realized that this pitch might not be easy for batting, so took on the spinners, played some audacious shots, the sweep, the cut. He was very strong and sure about what kind of shots he wanted to play, which augurs well for him. I think India actually showed in many ways, if you're willing to bide time, play through some tough moments by trusting your defense, which is going to be very, very important. Defense, then you obviously have the opportunity to score runs as well. What could West Indies have done better against Ashwin and Jadeja? For a start, we have to understand these are two quality bowlers. The one main aspect that West Indies is definitely missing is their defense. They're not trusting their defense enough, because when the ball turns and bounces, which happens quite a bit with both these bowlers on a dry pitch, I think they're looking at scoring options which don't exist. Trying to take on shots which probably needn't be played because they don't have trust in their defense. And that's what world-class bowlers do. They question you with some tough balls, and when you get flustered and play shots that you're not too sure of, then you end up losing your wicket. I think West Indies need to go back to the drawing board. And one batsman who's really good at it over a period of time and has done that really well is Brathwaite. And in the recent past, Blackwood and Chanderpaul have also done that at times. What they need to do definitely is make sure that they trust their defense, because if they don't do that, then they'll find it very hard to play both the spinners who actually bowl beautifully today. The fan question of the day is, why is West Indies struggling so much? Just now, a week ago, they were in Zimbabwe trying to qualify for the ODI World Cup that's going to happen in India, and they ended up losing that. And they ended up losing that in a quite a convincing manner, where they didn't beat Sri Lanka, they didn't beat Netherlands, they didn't beat Zimbabwe. So they'd be very disappointed with that. And they've had a very decent team. Why is this happening? Everybody's asking. In the last two World Test Championship cycles, both the cycles 19 to 21, 2021 to 2023, both the cycles they've come 8th place. I think the key answer is somewhere down the line, the number of times that I have told West Indies, the one thing that has been alarming for me is the fact that their infrastructure, their grounds, the facilities to practice have been very, very poor. And I think that is one thing, one area where they really need to look into, because only when you provide infrastructure will there be players coming out from there. And when you talk about West Indies, we're talking about a group of islands, then it becomes that much harder for people to obviously have control over different islands. And that's one thing that they definitely need to get in place before they can get their cricket back, especially in the red ball format. I know Craig Brathwaite and the team in the last couple of years have done some good things, but nothing too special. Coming 8th twice in the last 4 years in 2 cycles is nothing to be proud of, and I think they know they're better than that. But I also think somewhere the West Indies Cricket Board must look into it deep and find a way to get the infrastructure up and running so that they can produce more quality players, which will definitely be there. It's only a question of whether they're going to rise up to the occasion and make sure that they come to international cricket and show how good they are. I think we all know India is in a very commanding position. 80 for no loss, just 150 by West Indies, and then they're already 80 for no loss. What does India need to do? Let's keep it very simple. I think anything over 350, which already means it's a 200-run lead, India is going to run away with this test match, especially having Jadeja and Ashwin there. It's only going to make matters worse for West Indies. So I think anything over 350 is going to be amazing, but I do think India is going to get way more than that, because the one good thing about India is they've been playing on pitches which have supported spin a lot, aided spin a lot. And West Indies have just given it on a platter to India right now. So the Indian batters will be trying their best to get as many runs as possible. And I have a feeling India will score more than 400. Just tomorrow, they would be scoring 320 to 330 runs, which would take India above 400 and the lead way above 250 and really pose tough questions for West Indies. Now, if you're in the West Indies camp, what do you need to do? First things first, I think they need to set in-out fields. That is number one. Bowl in a controlled manner where you know where you want to give your boundaries. When they bowled in this last session, you got the feeling that they were hit in both parts of the ground. Yes, there was some good batsmanship from Jaiswal and Rohit Sharma, but West Indies need to find a way to control the runs. The fast bowlers in many ways can control the flow of runs. The spinners need to go for wickets. Warrican and Rakeem Cornwall need to find a way to hit the right lengths. They would have seen Ashwin. Cornwall is somebody who's bowled really well. He's got a fifer before against India, so he needs to be taking confidence from that and striking for West Indies. A couple of wickets will obviously set the cat amongst the pigeons, because we have seen with Team India, when a couple of wickets fall, because the batting has lacked confidence, they haven't got the amount of runs that they're expected to. And that is something West Indies can definitely make sure that they can use to their advantage.